Hello. Okay, I just finished listening to, on Audible rather than reading, a book called Daft Stories by Limmy, Limmy. I think the author's name is actually Brian Limming. It says at the end. This is a story. This is a collection of stories, 70 chapters actually. Some of the stories are only about 3 minutes long. Some are about 5 minutes long. Some are one line literally. And it was recommended to me by a friend who is actually a really good story writer, and he said you should check this guy out. It's really funny, and very thought provoking. There was a story in there called "The Tip" about a drunkard who's generally a total asshole, and a cab driver picks him up, even though most cab drivers have driven straight past him. A cab driver picks him up after a night out, and then he's sitting in the back of the cab, being abusive to the cab driver, being really obnoxious. And as he gets out of the cab, leaves the door open, asks what the fare is. The guy tells him what the fare is. He pays in change, drops half of it on the floor, and then he says to him, "Oh, do you want a tip, mate?" And the cab driver says, "Go on." He says, "Don't smoke in bed." Then he goes in, he's completely drunk, he smokes in bed, he sets the place on fire, and he dies horribly. The cab driver, meanwhile, thinks about the tip, and he and his wife give up smoking. They add another 10 years to their life. Simple breakdown of the story, but the way he tells it is hilarious. He does the voices, he really, really good. And it was nice to actually just listen to something that was entertaining, but at the same time, it's got some good points in there. The guy's got a great imagination. I think in storytelling, he's what's called a pantser. Now, a pantser is a phrase I was introduced to by a friend of mine who's done some writing, and he says there are some people who are pantsers. That is to say, they sit down and they just start writing, and they do it by the seat of their pants. A very good example is Stephen King, apparently. Limmy seems like a very good example, and his brains is not restricted by reality or anything else. There's another story in there where um, well, it starts with a debate between Richard Dawkins and some religious scholar, and right at the end of the debate, somebody who appears, you know, of lower intelligence, a slob basically, asks Richard a question about pigeons. Richard can't think of an answer. It ends up with him going mad, chasing pigeons into a lake in a park and drowning in his pajamas and socks. It's really funny. I do recommend it. It's highly entertaining. It's not it's great storytelling, is all it is. It's just entertainment. Great storytelling. I'd never heard of Limmy before, but the guy's really, really good. Um, and the breadth of stories, they're all a bit crazy. He's obviously got a great imagination. Um, I'll give it, as far as entertaining stories go, something to read, something to kind of poke your imagination into life, um, and make you laugh, make you smile, is, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now, okay, I'm biased, I like books. But that said, 8 out of 10 I think is fair because there are some books which I think are absolute shit. Um, One was, I used to like reading biographies, I still like reading biographies. And once I picked up a biography of Alan Sugar, it was the biggest piece of shit ever. Just, oh, he's great. It was basically like a tabloid newspaper has written about a celebrity. I think it was actually a tabloid writer. I, I really tried to finish the whole thing. I mean, it wouldn't have taken long. It's maybe a 2 day read, but I thought this is just crap. Who cares about this? And I'm sure there's a way to tell Alan Sugar's life story in an interesting manner, but I thought, really, who cares about this shit? Anyway, back to the point. Daft Wee Stories by Limmy. Really good. You should check it out. And I had to listen to it at normal speed, which I'm usually too impatient to do because he's got a strong Glaswegian accent. And when I sped it up, I could not make sense of it, which, there you go. All right. Hope you enjoyed the review.